This is really warming up. Welcome to StartupX at Dtec. We have a nice cup of coffee from the restaurant next door. We're on our bikes. We're talking about AI, and we have two great guests. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Petar from Croatia and Baghwan Ramnani. And you are from?
India.
India. Okay. Two people, and we're going to talk about AI. Now, I have a statement about AI. I get very, very passionate, and a segment earlier on, the Greek word for passion is meraki. I am seriously meraki about artificial intelligence. The reason I'm passionate about artificial intelligence is how it's going to change our lives. What I always say now is that for the first time in the history of humanity, we are creating something. We are the rulers of the world, the leaders of the world, not because we're the biggest, fastest, or strongest, but because we're the smartest. Now, we are producing and creating something that's smarter than us. And potentially as we go forward, it'll get faster and faster and faster. Still way behind, but it's going to get there. My opening statement to both of you is, can AI get to a point where it actually starts becoming very dangerous? And what are the one or two things that we need to do, not just to celebrate AI, which we will, but what are the elements that we need to be careful about as we think about AI in the future? You're with Intel, perhaps you can start with that.
I think what we can see is from a security standpoint of view. So when we kind of create or build such amazing applications, security should be at the center point of the attention, and then we can kind of proceed on how we build about the solutions. And if we kind of start that from the beginning itself, and as AI is kind of a combination of network of nodes, so it will kind of start imbibing in itself that security element, and probably it can be a safer net and a safer system.
Security is just one aspect, but as we develop ourselves, AI can start learning. So we're in simple artificial intelligence phase at the moment. We go into artificial general intelligence, and then we go into super intelligence when it's thinking for itself and deciding what it wants to do. That's still 20 years away, so we're okay on that. But I'm really concerned at this stage, because what we do is we get excited by, and we're going to get to your bike in a second, by lovely bikes. We get excited by product and technology. And what we don't look at is the ethical side and the balance within the AI space. And that is, to me, one of the questions. So when you were deciding this amazing thing, I love it. This is Grunner, and it runs really, really fast, and it goes like a rocket, and it has, oh no, I thought it was an umbrella. It's actually not an umbrella, it's just a circle, but we could actually have a little umbrella above us when we're going around in this heat. Give us air conditioning.
That will be
first air conditioned AI bike, right?
Yes.
Tell us about Grunner. What do you do?
So we are a smart technology company integrating smart technology in Dubai. Basically, bike has control through the internet application or through web browser, so we can activate each functions like lights or cameras or indicator lights through the internet. So it is IoT device. What makes him smart is a vehicle optimization system, which is integrated inside the black box. So a vehicle optimization system is actually monitors the routes where you are driving. And basically, if you are having a full throttle using the full electrical power of the bike, and you start going downhill, vehicle optimization system with the gyroscope integrated inside, it will optimize the consumption of the battery using G-force when you're going downhill. So by this, we actually managed to get optimization up to 30% of battery consumption in electrical bike.
One of the key things why we use a bike, and people like me, is to go into the gym and not to be optimized, but not to be de-optimized. So do you have the reverse of optimization, the Tariq bike? Reverse bike.
So what actually we have, electrical power can be distributed to the pedals, and basically we can use, for example, some people who are just recreational sports people, not really like a sportsman, when they want to have, more help from the bike, they can get more help from the bike. So basically, you can use 100% of the full battery, but then you can use only 10 or 20% of the battery while you're pedaling. So people will have more, how to say, it will be easier for them to bike. Especially now in Dubai, when there is a big heat, maybe they get tired very fast. Bike will help them to go wherever they want.
Okay, one final question and then we'll invite you back. And that is that with so much gadgetry on my bike, is it making it less safe? I'm checking my email, I'm looking at my Instagram, I'm doing my likes, I'm taking a selfie while I'm driving. I mean, come on.
Well, of course, it is not recommendable. Like in the cars, you have computers nowadays in the cars, so that doesn't mean that you are driving less safely. So same thing, I mean, bike has application. I mean, mostly when you are using it, when you want to turn on the lights or basically this bike we were testing with the Dubai police and they wanted us to integrate also inside cameras, back and front. So then we can monitor, of course, policemen, they can monitor what's going on. Also inside, now what we are partnering with Intel, it's our probably new projects, which will be, we will put inside some additional hardware, which will, and put a software which will be able to recognize face of the people or tables or how do you call it, card plates, and during the ride.
And this could be a self-automated bike also. You just sit on it and it goes, right?
Coming up to the Intel part, so the whole idea is to kind of add the next level remoteability and manageability from the systems itself, and to make it more efficient and power consumption wise as well.
Today was all about data and collecting data. So you must be collecting huge amounts of data. What sort of stuff are you collecting and how can we utilize that and analyze that?
So in this particular solution, the data that is being collected is morely from the sensors as well, and that data is filtered. So most of your data does not all of your data kind of ends up in the cloud for all your analysis. So you have a filtering process, and then those data points are kind of stored over there, and then you kind of utilize it for analysis and monitoring. And depending upon how you want to train the AI, you then feed that amount of data into the cloud system and then utilize it accordingly.
You know, I used to sit on about 3 or 4 boards of Intel Capital, some of their startup companies. And so why are you working with a company based out of Croatia, or have you moved here and set up here?
I mean, Dubai is a city which is having excellent visions, like Dubai 2021, to become the smartest city in the world, the happiest city in the world. So I think that Dubai is the excellent platform for this kind of new technologies. Except this smart bike, we are also having a smart bench, which already we are cooperating with Dubai Silicon Oasis in some of their parks. And I think here people, they have more sense for the technology and they're really enjoying the technology.
Going back to Intel, I have a close association for at least the last 10, 12 years with Intel. What are the kinds of initiatives? I mean, we've done the Intel Inside, and I use that all the time. What kind of initiatives do you have in artificial intelligence that Intel is focused on?
Sure. So now we are focusing to be kind of a more of data center company, and we're positioning more on our AI-based solutions. So our new service, which is basically the Xeon portfolio, is more focused on analyzing and processing data, which is kind of catering towards more of artificial intelligence-based programs and solutions. Also, we have a specific processor that's called the neural network processor, which is powered by Intel Nirvana. So Nirvana is another of our acquisitions which we acquired 2 years back that are kind of pioneering into optimizations related to AI and deep learning on how do we optimize the hardware completely from that perspective.
So what is the core strategy of Intel going forward? As a large corporation, I'm sure they are feeling vulnerable with a lot of bright, smaller companies coming together. what is the core Intel strategy going forward?
So we are basically trying to partner with the startups as well in order to kind of accelerate them. Because when you talk about AI, it's not one person's game. Everybody has to collaborate, everybody has to work in an ecosystem environment, and that's what we try to do. So we try to support the ecosystem, we try to support the startups, we kind of provide them the necessary support, the hardware support, and then probably connect them with these software vendors as well, if anything can be developed. So that is probably the core strategy.
I work with a very cool AI company in the US. It's called Spark Cognition, and they do AI-based products and services focused on the oil and gas sector and optimization of that. And now it's a 200 people company. And when I speak to people like GE Baker Hughes, Schlumberger, and other really big players, they are now partnering with a 200 people company. And the question I'm going towards with you is that are these little or mid-sized 100, 200 people company with the absolute super brains in there, are they the future? Or the big monoliths like you guys or a Cisco, or are they the future?
That's a very difficult thing to comment on.
No, it's difficult. I'm not asking for a politically incorrect statement. I'm talking about more in terms of thinking and strategy. I mean, are these smaller companies becoming more nimble and muscular and be able to do this rather than the big aircraft carrier? Because I see Intel as an aircraft carrier, and I see these companies as the attack jets. You see what I mean? So these little companies, 100 people companies, can go and attack any market, while Intel is still working on sorting out some compliance nonsense.
That's that's a tricky question to answer.
That's another tricky question. I am asking
questions.
too many tricky questions. I can't help it. It's part of my DNA. So I'm going to ask them really safe questions. What does Intel do? No, I'm just joking. Safe questions. Now, with artificial intelligence, and one of the components questions I asked earlier on in terms of ethics and values and so on. So when you're building up these data sets, when you're building up the algorithms that drive it, do you stop and think how will it affect people? Will it reduce pollution? Or are you just doing it from a technologically driven process?
So just to kind of clear the point over here, we are not kind of building specific data sets. We just enable them. So we just power those data sets, so we provide the hardware component. It depends upon the software people, the software companies, who are then, it's their decision to kind of take up on how they want to power their whole AI data set.
Okay. AI works very, very closely with a lot of other technologies. So for me, convergence and then explosion coming out from there. What sort of other technologies, Peter, are you applying other than artificial intelligence in terms of this convergence?
I mean, we are applying sensors in our devices. All of them are. We have a cloud system which is integrated inside our own cloud system. So, yeah.
So you're using cloud technology. You're using artificial intelligence. You're using sensors.
Yeah.
It's basically kind of combining the IoT. You're combining AI, and there are future plans to combine certain applications such as the smart bench and the bike to a privatized blockchain network as well. We are still figuring out on how we can kind of make use of those blockchain networks, because when you have so many devices, you need to kind of monitor and you need to have a precise location and manage those assets as well from a city standpoint of view. So those applications are on the line. So it's kind of a mix of IoT, blockchain, and AI as well.
So what other favorite projects do you have?
So we have quite a number of projects based in our lab upstairs. So basically we are working, focusing more on blockchain-based solutions. So we have our own blockchain-based network set up inside the lab based on Hyperledger Sawtooth. And over there, partners and developers can come in, they can test their own solutions and softwares, and then we kind of try to help them optimize those on the network so that they can scale it out from a few servers to a huge scale implementation as well. So we work on solutions based on logistics and supply chain management as well. So we're trying to solve certain areas of problems which people are facing.
It sounds like a cool space. Would we
Yes.
be allowed for episode 2 to come upstairs?
Yes, you're most welcome.
And have your second interview in a safe space?
Yes, actually, it's pretty hot over here. Yeah.
So no, we'd love to actually
Sure.
come and visit you there. Final comment, Peter. What is your vision for this? Is everybody in Dubai going to be running around on a smart bike or what?
But definitely, I think Dubai is streaming to get more bicycles in Dubai. They're building lots of bike roads, initiative of Prince Hamdan, and I'm very glad that people are changing this view of Dubai, not only using cars.
Yeah.
So definitely it will bring more green environment, sustainability. I think there is a bright future for this kind of technology of electrical bikes, especially, for example, now these days in Dubai. Okay, I'm coming from Europe. It's not so common that we use so much delivery like here. When I come to Dubai, everything is about delivery. People, they don't want to go out on the heat and buy food. So electrical bikes, it will solve the issues of the pollution, and I think it will be also quieter, nicer.
Brilliant.
So,
And your smart bench is going to vibrate and be air conditioned and keep my butt cool. I mean, that's basically what
we are using.
That's happening to a certain extent. We do have cool fans.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and basically, if you do anything in Dubai and it's not air conditioned, forget it. It's not going to work. This is a local customary issue. Guys.
Absolutely, that was the first thing.
First insight.
When
Come to Dubai, make it air conditioned.
Yes, we have a cooling system in our benches. That was the first thing what we did. Basically, it was a funny story when our first customer in Dubai for the benches was Dubai Police. So they took the product and they tested it. Unfortunately, they forgot one to turn on to turn on the cooling system. So the guy was sitting on each, and when he sat on the one which was without cooling system, he jumped up. So definitely it needs cooling.
Yeah, we have to switch things on.
Absolutely.
This is one thing we have to do.
Absolutely.
Final comment from you, Baghwan.
Sure.
Where do you think Intel and these startups are going as we are in a StartupX environment? What is your vision about that? Your final comments, please.
So basically, we are more keen and looking forward to work with startups so that we can kind of foster innovation in the whole tech space, and then we can build faster and amazing solutions.
Brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just heard from two people, a startup and a big monster company, and they are working together, and Intel is empowering these companies and making sure that they go out there and are able to fulfill their dreams. I also see that for somebody like Intel, Peter's company as Grunner becomes almost like an R&D extension to some of their services. This brings in a lot of convergence and brings in a lot of future development and growth. And they're helping the startup community, which really feeds into the StartupX initiative. I thank them very, very much.
You.
Thank you for watching. Thank you guys. All the best and best of luck. And keep switching it on, please. Thank you. Appreciate it.